You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Next up, the Twilight Zone. Yay! All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Generation In Between. I'm Danny.
And I'm Katie.
And you are here with us today. If you're watching us on YouTube, you might be like, WTF. For those of y'all that don't know, we are sitting here in costume, which we're going to explain in a minute. Before we do, welcome to our podcast, Generation In Between, a Xennial Podcast, where we remember, revisit, and sometimes relearn all kinds of things about being 80s kids and 90s teens.
That's right.
And it is October 2nd while we're recording right now.
It's October 2nd.
Katie had the best idea to come in costume every recording.
In October.
Yeah.
So you guys know we already started spooky season. I think we're already 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
We started early, but we decided for spooky October, we'll go ahead, like Danny said, and wear a costume every time. So we don't tell each other in advance. So I saw this lovely Maleficent character.
Oh, yeah. This is a podcast, so we'll tell you what we're wearing, but please go to YouTube and sneak a peek.
Yeah. Take a look.
It'll be on our social clips too, which will surprise everyone when they see
they're like, hello, what's happening? But they'll see the Lisa Frank background.
True.
Not trademarked. It's not really Lisa Frank, but you know what I mean.
So Katie is dressed appropriately for this episode.
I am.
She is in a Tower of Terror bellhop outfit that is adorable.
Yes.
P.S. That is all about Twilight Zone, duh, if you've never been on the ride.
Yes, it's all about it.
And then tell them what I'm wearing.
Danny is Maleficent. Got the horns, got the makeup, got the cape.
Yes, I'm sweating.
And I saw her, so she got here before me because I was dropping someone off at school still. So as I'm walking up to unlock the studio, I see Maleficent getting out of a Tesla, which is about the funniest thing you could encounter at 9 a.m. on a Thursday.
And guys, my horns,
They're great.
I wanted to, because I'm weird, I wanted to have this full attire on while I was driving, just so people would see me, and I'm just casually sipping water out of my Stanley, going about my day. But getting the horns into the car is an adventure because they tall.
They are tall.
These are full size Maleficent horns.
Yeah.
And I am the Disney cartoon version of Maleficent because there's several versions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Angelina Jolie version. Well, a little throwback to her with this dress. But anyways.
Yeah. I love it. I love the whole look.
We do family costumes every year. And one year we were Disney villains.
Oh, nice.
And she's my favorite. So all my costumes that I'm bringing are going to be some of my greatest hits.
I think I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
This one today is not. I've actually never worn this costume. Not this exact one.
But it's perfect.
I've worn a bellhop costume in an original show we did here, which gave me the idea.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this exact one.
It's perfect.
Yeah, but it works out. But my other ones are going to be my greatest hits. Now, you will want to make sure you listen to our final and watch our final episode of Spooky Season, because on that day, we are bringing costumes for each other.
Yes.
Without any advance warning, we're going to show up, give each other the costume that we have picked out for the other to wear, and we will wear those that day. And let me tell you, the one that I have picked out for Danny, you're going to want to see.
Yeah, Katie too. I will tell you this. You don't need to wear makeup, and you need to wear a wig cap.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think you need makeup for yours either unless you want to, and you don't need a wig cap.
Okay.
We got that cleared up.
All right.
So make sure you watch for all of the costumes, but definitely you don't want to miss that one.
I told Troy what I was bringing for you, and he died laughing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it his taco costume?
Oh, I can't tell you.
I wouldn't need a wig cap for that.
You never know. I can't tell you.
Taco with a wig.
Well, no, because I had to have something you could sit in. You can't sit in the taco.
That's true.
Because I thought about wearing the hot dog one. Actually.
Maybe.
Okay. Anyway.
We'll see.
So today, everyone, we rewatched it is a debated, controversial cult classic of a movie. And there's a lot of reasons behind this. A lot of tragic history behind the filming of this. Yeah. And then also a lot of Twilight Zone purists did not like this. And I'll tell you why when we get there.
Okay. Interesting.
And so it's the 1983 Twilight Zone, the movie.
Yes.
One of the things I really like about this movie, and that I remember liking about it as a kid, was that the movie is 4 different segments. So it's almost like you're watching 4 Twilight Zone episodes. And each segment had a different director.
I saw that at the end.
Yeah.
When the credits were rolling, I noticed that. And then I thought back to what I had just watched, and I was like, yeah, like the names I recognized made a lot of sense. It also made sense because, and I'm sure we'll talk about this as maybe part of the reason some people don't like the movie, it wasn't cohesive.
Well, and it wasn't supposed to be, and that's not why.
Okay.
It was supposed to feel like separate episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the different directors had like made it feel that way too.
Right. And that was kind of the goal.
Okay.
Was to have each. So the only original segments that were written for this movie were the prologue.
So good.
And the first segment. So before I get too in the weeds with this.
Okay.
There's 4 horror and science fiction segments. And I'm on Katie's computer, so y'all bear with me because I always struggle. The first one, it was the prologue, and then the first segment was called Time Out. Those were done by John Landis. And those were the only 2 that were originally written for this movie. The other 3 were rewrites of OG Twilight Zone episodes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So Kick the Can was the second segment. That was a Steven Spielberg, which you could know instantly. He is all over it. And that is actually one of my favorites.
I really like that one.
It's a Good Life was Joe Dante. And then Nightmare at 20,000 Feet is George Miller, which is an episode of Twilight Zone. Even if you've never watched the OG ones, you've probably heard about.
That's exactly what I thought when it was playing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know this one. And I didn't know if it was because of Twilight Zone or because it was an urban legend. I couldn't quite figure out how I knew the story, but I did.
So have you ever watched any of the old Twilight Zones from like the 60s?
I don't think so.
So I love them. My mom, as I've said before, was big horror science fiction. And so was my dad. And those they used to watch a lot. And here's the thing about Twilight Zone is that they're not really horror. Most of them aren't even scary. The whole point of all those episodes is social commentary. And there's usually a moral lesson in all the old Twilight Zones. A lot of them, the old ones, have to do with like nuclear war because of the time it was.
Makes sense.
And like the after effects. And the most interesting thing to me is you watch them now and some of the social commentary that they're trying to make is still super valid.
Yeah.
And it's sad. So, but anyway, so not all of them were, because Troy was like, well, that wasn't even scary. The one about Kick the Can. I said, but you got to understand, not all Twilight Zones are scary. In fact, most aren't quote unquote what we would say is horror.
Agree.
Science fiction, yes, because there's time travel and time freezing and like you're in a different dimension a lot of times. It's like parallel universe things.
Right.
But it's not what we expect to be horror.
I agree.
Which is why Twilight Zone purists had issue with the prologue. So I'm going to get in more into this. I have so much research. I told Katie, I don't think I've spent this long on research because there's 4 different directors. There's 76 like cast people.
Wow.
So I had to like narrow it down, but it was really hard.
Yeah.
And then like there's so much controversy about one segment. And it was really hard not to just dive into that completely and let it override everything else.
Okay.
But we will get there. So we're just going to start. And what I did was we're going to talk about it segment by segment.
Sounds good.
So I don't have any notes. If you have some, you can look at them.
I'll look at them as we go.
But what I'm going to do is give you a little background on the director, background on the cast, some of the cast, because I can't go into everybody. It takes too freaking long. And then some little tidbits that I found about that segment.
Okay.
All right. So the very first and probably one of the most favorite moments for some people in this whole movie is the prologue.
Yeah.
You have Dan Aykroyd and what's his name? Alan. Hold on. I'm going to say his name wrong. His name is Albert Brooks. I almost said Alan. And that is where they're driving along. So the summary of it is a driver has a big surprise from his passenger. And I think the best part of that is it's so unexpected.
Yes.
And I knew it was coming and I still jumped.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I knew it was coming. I mean, I knew he was up to something to tell him to like pull over or whatever.
Like Troy and Cooper both jumped. They were
was he supposed to be a hitchhiker, or was he just like they were friends already?
They don't really establish that.
They don't say.
Seems like they were friends.
Yeah, it kind of did, but then he was like, they say something about getting to know each other, and so I was confused about that.
So they do have an old Twilight Zone episode called The Hitchhiker.
Okay.
So I don't know. And nothing I found said if it was the throwback to that episode or not.
Okay.
But okay, so John Landis is what he goes by. Y'all know him because he directed Animal House in 1978. That was his big directorial smash. He did stuff before that. He directed The Blues Brothers in 1980, An American Werewolf in London in 81, Trading Places, 83. He directed Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Cool.
In 83, Spies Like Us in 85, Three Amigos, 86, Coming to America, 88. And he also directed Michael Jackson's Black or White video in 91.
Okay.
So I kind of stopped there. I tried to just do things that we would know as Xennials because he had a lot. There were some interesting facts I found out about him. He started his career in the mailroom of 20th Century Fox. So he really is like a Hollywood comeuppance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he dropped out of high school.
Oh.
And when he was 18, he made his way to Yugoslavia with 20th Century Fox to work as a production assistant on the movie Kelly's Heroes, 1970. He stayed in Europe, and that's where he started working as an actor, an extra, and a stuntman in a bunch of Spanish, Italian spaghetti westerns. His backstory is just so crazy.
It's so all over the place.
It's all over the place.
I love it, though.
When he came back to the U.S., he made his debut as a writer-director at 21.
Wow.
Yeah, with the movie Schlock, 1973. And that was kind of like a tribute to monster movies. Which kind of makes sense when you see Twilight Zone. Animal House, though, is what put him on the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they do have a throwback joke to Animal. So he directed the prologue scene and then the next one, which is called Time Out. They have a throwback to Animal House. And I forgot to write it down because I found it last minute after I was done with my notes. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like taking my computer back out.
That's it. That's the whole inconvenience.
They have a little throwback when they talk about in the next segment, the guy said he was in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of Animal House, they talk about one of the douchebag guys like died in Vietnam or whatever. And they say his name, like he was the lieutenant. And now I wish I would have wrote it down.
Okay.
So
okay.
Little Easter egg there,
like
which
that.
I should have wrote down now that I think about it, but too bad. Oh, well, guys, I had a lot happening. He also became, very interesting, a super sought out commercial director.
Okay.
So he did ads for Disney, Kellogg's, Taco Bell, Coke, and Pepsi in the 80s and 90s. So he was not struggling for money until something happened.
I was going to say, I haven't heard of him lately.
So we're going to talk about that in just a moment.
Okay.
We're going to finish talking about the prologue because all the controversy comes in on the next segment of this movie.
Got it.
So, all right, Dan Aykroyd was the passenger in this car who turns into a monster at the end, which is great. We all know him from SNL. He was on there for a few seasons, 76 through 79. So he was one of the OG cast members, which is really fun. Blues Brothers, 1980, Trading Places, 83. Are you noticing that he's worked with John Landis on lots of things?
Yeah.
It's going to keep happening. Ghostbusters, 84, Spies Like Us, 85, Dragnet, 87, Great Outdoors, 88, Driving Miss Daisy, 89, My Girl, 91, Coneheads, 93, and I stopped there.
Yeah, and so on.
Because this... Y'all know Dan Aykroyd. If you're a Xennial, if you're our age, you know Dan Aykroyd. Our parents know Dan Aykroyd, and our kids know Dan Aykroyd. So
yeah,
he done be out there. I found out some fun things about Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And some of these are genetic, and they're really fun, genetic, interesting qualities. Ready?
Okay, let's go.
I never have noticed this. He has two different color eyes.
Oh.
So he has a brown eye and a green eye.
I did not know that.
I'd never noticed it. And I'm almost wondering if they cover it up in movies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, now I'll have to look.
He also is ambidextrous.
Okay.
Which is like a very slim percentage of people are ambidextrous. He also has something called syndactylism, which is a birth defect where several of your like digits, either your fingers or your toes, are fused together. And there's actually video of him taking shoes and socks off and showing this from the early 70s. He was in something called Mr. Mike's Mondo video in late 70s, sorry, 1979. And he literally takes off his shoes and socks to show. I didn't look it up.
And so it's not like webbed, it's like
it's like fused together. Like, yeah, like that.
Interesting. But not his fingers, obviously. We would notice that.
Toes.
It's his toes. Okay.
Anyway, and I don't know if it's one or both feet. But anyway, I was like, well,
he's got a lot going on there.
He's got a lot of fun little qualities.
I like that.
It's kind of science fiction-y almost.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Although I don't necessarily usually equate him with science fiction, which I think was why I was excited when it came on. Because I was like, oh, that's Dan Aykroyd. Like, I know who that is. He's in this movie, you know? Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the fun is like the little cameos you see and you're like, what? Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's another little fun fact. Jamie Lee Curtis worked with him on like 3 films, and she said that he is the best screen kisser who she's ever had a scene with.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd. We see you.
You know he's looking like side-eyeing Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, hey, dude. Sorry.
When did she kiss him?
It wasn't it True Lies? Weren't they both in that movie?
Was she in that?
Yeah, she was in that.
I don't remember that movie.
Oh yeah, that was an action movie.
But like, no shade, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
but I don't think that you would be a good kisser.
I just think because he's like so like macho or whatever.
I feel like he'd be like one of those people who don't care if you like it or not.
Probably. So maybe Dan Aykroyd is more of a caring about your partner kind of kisser, and that's what makes it good.
We're here for that.
Okay, you go, Dan.
And it's always people you don't expect. I'm serious.
No, I just like as soon as you said that, I'm like thinking about Dan Aykroyd kissing someone, and I was like,
think about like your top 3 kisses of your whole life.
Oh gosh, never thought about it.
Okay, well, think about it, and we'll come back. We'll circle back to that.
But what were you going to say about?
them? Obviously, we have to put our husbands at number 1.
Number 1, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But are you saying kisses or kissers?
No, I guess kissers.
Okay, got it.
Because I know my number 2. Instant.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Mm-hmm. It lives with me forever. Forever.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Was it Dan Aykroyd?
He was a huge asshole in real life, though, which sucks. I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
But
fair.
Oh, yeah. It lives with me forever. Okay. We'll talk about, we'll circle back.
Yeah, let's do
Just
it.
so you know, if you listen, people out there of all genders and sexualities, if you're a good kisser, you win. You can be so in other departments of intimacy, but if you can kiss well, that will help you.
You're in
everywhere else.
Yeah. In life?
Yes. Grocery store, everywhere. You're a good kisser, you win.
Your job, promotions. Okay.
Well,
hopefully the kissing has nothing to do with the promotion, but
depends on the job.
It's karma.
Well, all right. Okay, so now Albert Brooks is the driver in the car. Yes. Oh, wait. I forgot my other fun fact about Dan Aykroyd. I have the most random things. He proposed to his wife, Donna Dixon, on Fran Drescher's porch.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. Fran Drescher played like this major role in getting them together because they were all in this movie called Dr. Detroit together in 1983. So it was right around this time.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I know.
That's so cute.
I love it when like actors that don't like that by name and you don't know they know each other have little connections like that. Because it feels like a big little family.
It's cute.
You know?
Yeah, like I would like never in a million years guess if you were like, what celebrity porch did he get engaged on?
The nanny.
I would never guess that. But it makes sense.
I know.
Because they were in the same circles then.
You know what? I had a friend in college. She used to tell me that I reminded her of Fran Drescher because of how I laugh.
Sure.
But I'm like, I know I can be nasally, but she like...
No, you're not. You're not nasally in your voice, but I
am in my voice, but not my laugh.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No. I will own that. I will own the nasal. Listen, I can't help it. Now I'm like super conscious. Now I'm going to talk like this the rest of the
narrow sinus cavities.
Okay, it's true.
It's a thing.
I really I have imaging.
Look it up.
I almost got that balloon thing done where you can, and I was like, I don't care.
It's not worth all that.
Nah.
It's really not.
Unless I had pain, but that's gross. Nobody needs to know about my nasal passages. All right. Albert Brooks is the driver. Funny fact about this. We're sitting there watching it, and I'm like, his voice, he was a Disney voice. What was he a Disney voice in? Oh, once I say it, you'll be like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, he's the voice of Woody, y'all. That's the voice of Woody. Both Cooper and Troy looked at me and they were like, that was Tom Hanks. Duh. And I'm like, oh yeah. He was Marlin in Nemo.
Awesome.
Yes.
I hear it now.
And so Cooper looked it up as we were watching. He's like, Mom, he was Marlin. I was like, okay, that's it.
I can't believe you thought he was Woody.
I don't know, guys. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize, Tom Hanks.
But Marlin, okay, yeah. I hear it.
So he was in Taxi Driver in 1976, Private Benjamin in 1980, Modern Romance 81, Terms of Endearment 83, Broadcast News 87, Defending Your Life 91, which is a great movie, by the way. They used to play it on HBO all the time when we first got HBO in the early 90s. And it's about this guy that dies, and then they like show clips of their life, and he has like defend like his choices on if he gets to stay in heaven or if he has to leave.
Oh,
it's really good.
I like that.
And there's another, I think, there's another famous female in there, and now I'm blanking on who it was. It's a good movie. Anyway, The Scout 94, and he was the voice of Marlin in Finding Nemo in 2003. That's how old that movie is.
Dang. Yeah, I knew he was over 20 years old.
But he was also the voice of Jacob the Tiger and Dr. Dolittle in 1998.
Cute.
I know. He was like a neurotic tiger.
Cute.
Which would be me if I was an animal. A neurotic tiger.
A neurotic tiger.
Fun fact about him, his real last name is Einstein.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. He changed it because he did not want it. Is
time out.
His parents named him Albert
Einstein.
Yes. Look it up. It's his government name. Well, no, it's not because he changed it.
Why did they do that? Is he related to Albert Einstein?
No.
Like, is that like his grandpa or something?
No.
Why did they do that?
So anyway, he changed it. Because
I like Albert Brooks. That's cute.
Yeah, I think it's cute too. He actually this is funny. He turned down the lead in When Harry Met Sally. And so, Billy Crystal had the lead because he said it seemed too much like a Woody Allen script. But the funny, ironic thing, and I guess he doesn't like Woody Allen. I don't know. The funny thing is he's been described as a West Coast Woody Allen, which I could totally see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'm envisioning him in When Harry Met Sally. And this is so funny because my husband loves that movie. And I think it's okay. It's not one of my favorites.
I don't like the underlying message that you can't have a platonic friendship if you're a straight man and a straight woman. I don't like that.
Yeah. And I don't find, and I said this to my husband the last time he watched it, and this is I don't mean it mean because I think every person has their own preferences, but I'm like, I cannot get past Billy Crystal. I just don't find him attractive. And maybe it's because he's small, but like Meg Ryan is so.
Hold on.
Like for me personally.
No, I get it.
And Meg Ryan is just so gorgeous and I don't know. And it's not just the looks, it's the energy. Like I just don't, and maybe we're not supposed to.
Do you think he's funny?
I guess.
Oh, that's it then. Because I think he's hysterical.
I think he's funny, but like I don't know. I just can never get past that in that movie. I'm like this.
Okay, that's valid.
I'm not believing any of this.
Okay, that's valid.
So
that's valid.
So, but this guy, I do think is good looking.
Okay,
and maybe he's funny.
Maybe
too.
you just like the West Coast vibes better than the East.
That
Coast
might be
vibes.
it. It's a West Coast thing.
Maybe.
So I could see him in that movie, and maybe I would enjoy it more.
Well. You heard it here first. Katie wants eye candy in her rom-coms.
I want Albert Einstein in my rom-coms, okay?
Which I would not use him as eye candy, but that's fine. He also turned down the lead in Big and Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman, not Women.
Why did he turn those down?
I don't know.
That's weird.
But I don't know because maybe reading scripture like I just don't feel this or it's going to suck and then we never know what's going to be a big hit.
That's true. And you might not know who else they're casting.
Right.
At the time.
Or who knows what's going on in his life.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he had like family stuff going on.
Who knows? Or maybe he was solving equations.
I don't think you can go back up. You got to scroll.
What do you mean I can't
just
go back up?
Just touch the screen.
I don't.
There.
Stress.
See how easy
Katie's
that was?
computer is a stressful thing.
It is though.
All right.
She's not lying.
So here's some fun tidbits about this segment. First of all, we're going to talk about not the movie as a whole. We're going to talk about the segments.
Okay.
Because there's parts of it you may like and parts you may not.
Correct.
Did you like the prologue?
Yes.
Okay.
I loved it.
Cool.
I was really scared when he turned the headlights off.
I
was
know.
driving.
Like, what are you
I was
doing?
like, that's the scariest thing.
Okay, so did you ever do that driving?
No.
Okay. Confession.
Uh-oh.
I know. I was the dumbest teenager. Listen, this is why I am always paranoid about my kids, because I was stupid. I did every stupid thing. We totally would do that. We would go on roads where there's like nothing and turn the lights off and speed down the road. Why?
Why?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Thrill seeking in the stupidest ways. Thank God we were all okay.
Thank God.
We did it all the time.
I was, that part of it. I knew because the premise of the Twilight Zone, I knew that like nothing was going to happen to them in that moment, because that wasn't the point.
Yeah.
Of like,
it's too soon.
It's too soon, and it's like too obvious, but it still made me get like nervous in my stomach.
And that was kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
So in the little segment, they actually start talking about like their favorite Twilight Zone episodes. And one of them mentions Time Enough at Last, which is one of my top 3 OG Twilight Zone episodes. And it's where there's this guy who works at a bank and all he wants to do is read, and he has no time to himself to read. And he goes into the safe one day to get something out. And while he's in like the safe, the world, like there's a big giant nuclear explosion and the world ends. So he comes out and everything's gone. And he's like, cool, I'm finally alone. So he goes, he walks around, all this other things happen. He finds the library and he's like, this is great. I can finally read uninterrupted. But he steps on his glasses. He trips and his glasses and he's like super blind without his glasses. And he steps on his glasses and that's the end of the episode. So he's stuck alone.
And now he can't see.
And now he can't read. And that's all he wanted.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the best episodes. I love, because
that sounds good.
That's the OG Twilight Zone vibes. It's like these messages. Like you
Mhm.
think you want this one thing, but now you're screwed. Like you need other people. Like you can't.
Right.
Anyway,
you need an optometrist for when you step on your glasses.
Right.
Okay?
So the guy that is the star of that episode, his name is Burgess Meredith, who they mention.
yeah.
Okay.
I know who that is.
He starred in that episode and several others, and he's the narrator in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So fun fact there.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked up the narrator when I was watching it, just because I watched it on Prime, so I could see like who the writers were. And it did have Rod Serling for the original stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, like,
yeah.
I assume he had passed away by the time this came out, or they would have used him. But I noticed the Serling name in the cast list. Do you have that?
Yep,
okay.
I'll get there.
All right, I'll wait for
I'll
that.
get there. But speaking of Rod Serling, in the opening title sequence, like after the prologue where they show the title sequence, you can see him reflected when they show the eye.
That's see
fun.
Him. Yeah.
So he's still there. They had little essences of Rod Serling all throughout, which we'll get there. So this little opening is what a lot of people think a poor example of what Twilight Zone was originally, like I said, because it wasn't about jump scares and it wasn't about like people just getting killed for no reason. Like we have no idea why he's a monster. We have no idea why he's killing the guy. Like,
right.
There was always a purpose and a moral to the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every OG episode was like that. So a lot of people didn't like that was how this movie started.
Yeah.
And they were like, that is not what Twilight Zone did not have jump scares.
Yeah. It's in a way more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
It doesn't rely on that to tell the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if a character did get killed in an episode, it was for like a comeuppance. Like,
sure.
Well,
and that's why I wondered, is he supposed to be a hitchhiker? Is that the moral, that like you never know who you're picking up? And now this guy's like a demon?
Well, that would have stayed with it. But they didn't make that clear.
They really didn't.
So that was kind of that was kind of the debate with this prologue.
I get it.
The fun fact is, I'm kind of jumping ahead here. What they wanted to do at the end was tie all the stories together. So originally they were going to have all the characters crash on the highway, like where they were.
Okay.
But they changed it to have Dan Aykroyd be the ambulance driver.
That was really good.
Which I thought was great.
Yeah.
So,
and he's like, want to see something scary?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was really
and it's kind of like a fun little open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how a Twilight Zone episode would end.
Right.
Kind of like what I like about the OG Twilight Zones, even to this day, because Cooper and I will just watch them sometimes. We'll just pull them up and watch them, is that they make you think.
Right.
you are left with things to discuss after they're finished.
Yes.
You know? So that's what I like. Anyway, okay. Buckle up, bitches, because we're about to get into some tragedy, and it sucks and it's terrible. So I'm warning you now that we're going to talk about some tragedy that happened during the filming of the timeout sequence.
Okay.
All right.
The first sequence.
Yes. Technically the very first one, because the prologue is its own thing.
Prologue and then this one. Okay. Got it.
So the summary of the timeout sequence is: an unexpected turnabout of space and time forces a man to suffer the indignities of his own bigotry. The sad part on this one was I feel like we're still dealing with these attitudes.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he kept declaring, I'm an American, damn it. I'm an American. And I was like, oh, God.
It's really sad because this was a retelling of an OG Twilight Zone episode as well.
Okay. So we've got the OG that was way back.
In the early 60s.
One,
yeah.
And you could remake it now and still tell this story.
This is America, guys.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you about the main actor, and then we'll go dig into the controversy. So Vic Morrow was the actor who played Bill Connor, the huge bigot, racist guy. I'll tell you a little bit about his career. He had his screen debut when he was signed by MGM to play a tough-talking, surly street punk in a movie called Blackboard Jungle in 1955.
Wow.
Yeah. He was glad because then he was in more movies, but then he started getting typecast as like kind of like a heavy bad guy.
Yeah.
So in 1962, though, he got a role that brought him even more fame, and he finally got to play a hero. He was on a TV series by the name of Combat. He played Sergeant Chip Saunders, who was a veteran squad leader.
Okay.
So that brought him some fame. He mostly, though, had like B-movie or TV movies on his resume. He did play Walter Matthau's nemesis in Bad News Bears in 1976. I mean, he's got a good bad guy voice and a bad guy face. Like, I feel really bad for him, but he does.
He kind of does.
But it didn't really change much. This movie was supposed to be his big thing. But he died while filming this.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so there were 3 fatalities while filming this.
Oh my God.
Him and 2 children.
3 fatalities while filming the entire movie or just the segment?
Well, I mean, the whole movie, but
the whole movie.
Not usually fatality.
I know, but I was like, that's really crazy if it's just this segment.
This is where it's going to get dark and depressing for a minute. So y'all
right.
just hang in there. We're not going to linger here super long, but I'm going to try to, I don't want to read all my notes on this. I'm going to try to just sum it up.
Okay.
So the scene that was being filmed obviously is not in the movie. The end of it, the end of this segment, you see him getting carted away in a train, supposedly off to a concentration camp.
Yes.
Well, the way it was supposed to end was supposed to be when he was in Vietnam. And he was supposed to kind of have a little bit of redemption because he was like in a village and he was trying to rescue 2 Vietnamese children from American troops.
Okay.
There was a helicopter coming down to like get them or something. I don't know. So while they were in it, they were filming at night. What happened was the helicopter got too close to the ground. There was a nearby explosion that they were supposed to have as a part of the scene. The explosion went off too soon. The helicopter was too low to the ground and it killed all 3 of them. So the helicopter person did not die, but the 3 of them died.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go into the gory details of what happened. They died instantly, but it was very horrific. The trouble came about. I mean, that's a horrific accident. There's been accidents on sets before.
Sure.
The horrific part was it was a 6-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy, or it might have been reversed. I didn't even put their names down just because I don't know. I feel weird about talking about kids. Their parents were paid under the table. There was no liability form signed, and their parents were not informed that there were going to be explosions or helicopters used in the scene. And the casting agent also was not made aware of that.
To like let them know, because that's what.
Right.
So they did go through a casting agent. It's not like they just like found him out
No.
in the mall or something.
Well, I think maybe for one, I did read a little bit that like somebody knew their parents or for one of the
Okay.
kids. I don't know. But they weren't the only ones. Not everybody on the set knew the logistics of how it all was going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a bunch of legal battles when this all happened. And I'm trying to make sure it actually ended up on the flip side. I mean, like decades of legal problems from this.
Wow.
But there were laws and guidelines that were changed for safety reasons with filmmaking because of this accident.
Okay.
So let me make sure I'm not leaving out anything important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There were 5 people who were associated with the accident, one of which mainly was John Landis, the director. Then there was a couple other people like the stunt people and all that. They were acquitted, though, after a 10-month trial on charges of manslaughter.
Dang.
Yeah. The defense maintained that the accident was unforeseen and unforeseeable, which was probably true.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And they said the real culprit was a crew member who set off the explosives without looking at where the helicopter was.
Okay.
But that person didn't get charged either. But anyway, nobody was prosecuted for illegally hiring the underage children, even though John Landis and others admitted to avoiding child labor laws. Even though they admitted,
right,
we didn't get that form signed, we didn't do this, they had no penalties from that.
That's wild. I mean, that's what the like Hollywood money will buy you. And I will say, I don't know that in a case like that manslaughter is the right thing to charge or sentence them with if it truly was unforeseen. But the other stuff,
I know,
at least, and maybe you know more on this, if I were the parents, if they didn't have criminal charges, I would sue them civilly,
right?
For wrongful death,
Yeah,
and try to get some like money that way. Not that it's necessarily like they want the money, but so that they have some sort of repercussion,
something. Yeah,
I'm not saying they should go to prison for forever, but they should have some sort of physical responsibility to those families. 100%.
Yeah. I will say, following this incident, accidents during filming between this was filmed in 1982 and released in 83, between 1982 and 1986 fell by 69.6%.
Good.
And although there were still 6 deaths on sets in those few years.
Wow.
But it did. I mean,
so
accidents do happen. And if you have stunts that are happening, that's, but I think the difference is when you are a professional stunt person, that's your job and you know that risk. These children didn't, and neither did their parents.
Right. That's different.
So interestingly enough, Steven Spielberg actually ended his friendship with John Landis because of this. And he's been kind of outspoken about it. He said the fatal accident made him grow up a little more. And he said it left everyone who worked on the movie sick to the center of their souls.
Spielberg said that?
He also said, no movie is worth dying for. I think people are standing up much more now than ever before to producers and directors who ask too much. If something isn't safe, it is the right and responsibility of every actor or crew member to yell cut. So, and George Miller, he was the director of the last segment, he was so repulsed by everything, he abandoned post-production of his segment unannounced. So he was just like,
do whatever, bye.
But filming was completed and was already edited, and so they put it in anyway.
Wow.
So I think everybody had a horrible taste in their mouth, which is why part of the reason why this movie was kind of a box office flop is because everybody knew about what happened.
Knew about that. Because I was watching it thinking, this is pretty good. Like, there were parts of it, and I'll tell you when we get to them, that I didn't love, but I was like, oh, this is a really good movie. Why have I never seen it? Why do we not hear more about this? I mean, you hear about the Twilight Zone, but not necessarily the movie.
Yeah, it was not a box office smash. And like I said, a lot of people, like OG Twilight Zone people, don't like it. And
now this, yeah. I probably wouldn't pay to go see it either if I knew this, yeah.
Like, you don't want that director making money.
No.
And also, like, it's crazy to me to think that they just cut that scene out and then put all the others in for this segment, and like maybe just take the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Right?
That too.
Or film something totally
different. But the children
different.
don't appear in that segment at all.
No.
At least that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So anyways, so that is the dark cloud hanging over this movie. And now it is addressed. And now we're going to move on. Okay.
Let's move on.
Well, wait, before we move on, did you like this segment? Did you like this story?
I liked it. I mean, just in general. And then I thought it was odd that there were different directors. There was so much Jewish stuff in this movie. Like, I get it that's like, but also in the Kick the Can segment, that one, they just had all sorts of like Jewish jokes and stuff. I don't know. It's just more than I'm used to in like modern times.
John Landis is Jewish. I think.
And so is Spielberg.
Right. And I think Vic Morrow also was.
So I guess that's why. But it was like so much. I was like, I get it.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Like, I don't know. So that kind of, but I mean, I understand why in this particular segment with Vic Morrow they were doing that because it tied everything to everything else. But yeah, I liked the segment. I thought it was very powerful. I liked how he kept kind of like, quote unquote, dying. And then he woke up in a new fate as a new person, new identity per se. I did think the whole like where the black men in the restaurant at the beginning when he's like being loud to his friends and using the N-word over and over. I don't know. They were just so polite that I thought that was weird.
Well, but then I had to think about that too, because like from a very realistic point of view, they had, first of all, their safety is on the line there. If you hear somebody spewing that word about you
and you're right there,
like to even be able to say something, you're putting your life out there. Like even the guy's friends were like, hey, like you're just out here trying to have a drink with your friends and some hateful man, like you don't know what he's capable of.
It's true.
So,
and also it's better that they portrayed them as, civil and that sort of thing, as opposed to the opposite. Right. But I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, and maybe it is just that dark energy over that segment, but there was something about it that just kind of didn't sit right with me, but I don't know what it was.
I know what it is, I think.
What do you think it is?
It's because they just made it seem like, because the problem, we're going to get real deep and dark, and then we'll get light again, I swear.
Okay.
And to be able to talk about something so serious when I'm sitting here with sparkly horns on is hilarious. But
I think it's great.
I think what it is when we talk about racism and bigotry, so often what happens is we think of moments in time that everybody can say was bad, instead of the everyday things that happen, like unequal housing or wages or healthcare issues that happen because you are not XYZ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's what it is that we think, oh yeah, those were the only times that racism happened. So let him go back and live that then. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think that's it.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. It's too simple.
Too simple.
And it's too, this is one bad white guy.
And it's like too finite. And it's like, and it does make it seem like racist people, or let me put it this way. I don't want to say racist people. People who have racist beliefs are just one way.
Right.
When the problem is the embedded racism in society that is underlying in everything.
Correct.
Is the issue at hand.
Is the issue, not this one guy. And of course, those people do exist, and it's not great, but I agree. Well, and what it does, it's supposed to make you feel better as a white person who isn't that
which
guy.
Is the problem. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Is that it's easy to say, well, I'm not like him, so I'm good.
Yes.
When we have to agree that we are part of a group collectively that has been problematic always. So, and I think that's
it. But I liked I liked it. But yeah, I think that's what bothered me. It was too like black and white, not meaning skin tone, but just in general, like too binary. Like,
and that's
bad, good, bad moments in time only.
Yeah.
And I think that bothered me. But I like the idea of him like sort of waking up in someone else's shoes over and over, and how that feels, and him saying, no, I'm whatever. I'm an American.
Right.
I'm whatever. And they only see this identity that he's taken on. Which is what he does.
Right.
So I did like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's really good. And that counts for everything.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody we don't understand, or anyone we judge or whatever. So I did like that. But yeah, I think that's what bothered me about it. It was too, and that's very of the time.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
very
it was 83.
statement of the
1982,
time. Like, we're
right.
going to make a statement about racism and bigotry and discrimination, and this is what it's going to look like. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Because it makes it easy to say, well, I'm not the problem. He's the
Right.
problem,
correct.
which sucks and is not true. We're all the problem. So anyway,
We are.
let's move on
Okay,
to Steven Spielberg.
let's go.
So Troy didn't like this one.
He didn't like kick the can.
He didn't, because he said it felt too like Cocoon, who, by the way, that was
Mhm.
Ron Howard, not Steven Spielberg. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I felt like I felt like I was in Forrest Gump because of the music in this one.
Yeah.
The music was constant, and it was fine, but it was like always swelling and always like whatever. But I mean, that's, Spielberg
It's
has
Spielberg.
great
We
scores.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so kick the can summary. Rest home residents undergo a transformation that enables them to once again rediscover the joys of life with a child's appreciation and wonder. Okay, so directed by Steven Spielberg, and I mean, guys,
Right.
I'll just give you a few of his Xennial directing credits, but like his credits as producer are just as lengthy. So I just stuck with directing, and I had to stop at some point. But Jaws 75, Close Encounters of the Third Kind 77, Raiders of the Lost Ark 81, E.T. the Extraterrestrial 82, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 84, Color Purple 85, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade 89, Hook 91, Jurassic Park 93, Schindler's List 93. Man, he's busy. Amistad 97, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 97, Saving Private Ryan 98, and I stopped there. So he has all kinds of films under his belt, but he has said the two films he'd like to be remembered for are E.T. and Schindler's List.
I could see that.
I've never seen Schindler's List.
I have.
I've never seen it.
It's about as troubling as you would expect.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic film about something very, very important in history.
Yeah, I need to see it, but I have never seen it. He also, Steven Spielberg, is credited with creating the summer blockbuster movie when he came out with Jaws.
Yeah,
that's when it all started, which is weird because we always think summer blockbuster has been a thing. Like the big movies come out in the summer, But Jaws was the first.
And Jaws was 75. So
yeah,
that would have been established not long before we came into the
that's
world.
Right. So we only know a world.
It has always been summer blockbuster for us, but not for all time.
Not for all time. Fun fact, he is godfather to Drew Barrymore and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Not bad.
Look at that.
You got to have some godchildren.
If you
gotta sign up, yeah, make them famous and blonde.
And I threw this in for you.
Oh God,
his dog Elmer starred in several of his films, including Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, and Elmer is the cutest name for a dog. What kind of dog was he? You know,
I don't know.
I'll have to look him up. I bet he was cute.
I was like, I gotta throw that in. And I didn't throw too much about him because we know a lot. And I think we talked about him before.
We know so much about him.
So I'm not gonna. Okay. So I only did one of the actors from this one, from Kick the Can, because I could not figure out where I knew him from. And is the man who played Mr. Bloom. His name is Scatman Crothers.
Okay.
He actually died 3 years after this movie came out. He was in The Shining.
Yes.
Have you seen The Shining?
Yes.
Okay. He played the guy that worked there. Okay, that tried to help them. And so anyway, but what he is super well known for is he played Louis Wilson on a TV series called Chico and the Man in the late 70s. He was also in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 75, The Shining in 1980, like I just said. And he did lots of TV shows and made for TV movies, plus a bunch of animated voices. So you may have heard him on things like Aristocats, Transformers, and Scooby-Doo.
Was he one of the dogs on Aristocats?
Not Aristocats, the Disney movie. Aristocats, the cartoon with Heathcliff.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, anyway, he was also a composer, a singer, a guitarist, and a drummer.
I got the vibe that he was a musician.
Yeah.
And I could tell from his voice that he was probably a singer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was a fun little cool Twilight Zone fact about him. He was born the year Halley's Comet returned to Earth, which was 1970. He was born on April 20th. And he died the year the comet came back around in 1986.
Wow.
That's kind of interesting, right?
That is really, really cool.
I know. So thank you to whoever put that fact out in the internet world, because I thought that was fascinating.
But wait, you said he wasn't born in 1970.
Oh yeah, that must have been the wrong year. So ignore that.
Because I was going to say they talk about that in that clip, in the segment. They
Ignore
talk about
that year. That year is incorrect.
I was like, so he was 13 when he died. Yeah, because they talk about that in the clip. The one lady says,
"Oh yeah, they did.
I was born right after Halley's Comet, but it's coming back in 2 years, so I get to see it."
Right.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool writing.
Yeah. So okay, I wrote the wrong year.
But we get it. We get it.
You get it.
He was
Anyway, so another fun little fact. So I just have a little fun facts about the making of Kick the Can. This was a revision of a Twilight Zone episode by the same title. Steven Spielberg's future mother-in-law, Priscilla Pointer, played Miss Cox in this clip.
Cute.
He was married to her daughter Amy from 1984 to 1989. Not very long. But anyway, he put his little future mother-in-law in there, which
cute.
I'm like, that's cute. Somebody do that for me one day.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Anyway, this segment was filmed in 6 days only. 6 days they did it.
Wow.
From start to finish, because Steven Spielberg wanted to be done. He wanted to finish his contract as soon as he could because of all the tragedies that happened during John Landis.
Okay.
segment.
So filming wise, they sort of filmed in order then?
I don't know.
But his was later.
His was
for
after,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just wanted to be out of there.
All right. Yeah.
He wanted to be out of there. I don't blame him. So he was like in, out, and done.
I don't think it shows. I mean,
it's great.
You wouldn't necessarily know that it was not rushed, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg can do anything in 6 days.
Absolutely.
Come on. He's good. He actually originally planned to direct an update of an episode titled The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. That is in my top 3 as well. Basically, it's about the whole episode you're watching. It's these neighbors trying to figure out this weird stuff that's happening, and they start blaming each other, and they all turn against each other. Okay. And at the very end of the episode, like they're fighting, there's violence at the end of the episode. At the very end of the episode, you see 2 aliens in a spacecraft saying, "Oh, it worked. Our experiment worked." They're all turning against each other. So it's just ironic. It's just about comment on humanity. Okay?
Yeah, right.
So he originally wanted to do that, which would have been so good. But due to all the fatalities that happened in the timeout sequence, he didn't want to use kids. He didn't want to film at night. And so he just changed his mind to do something totally different.
But there's kids in this one.
True. But I think...
Because I thought the kids were so freaking cute.
But I think,
oh my God,
in the kid one, in Monsters on Maple Street, I'm trying to remember the story.
Are there like kids who die or something?
I can't remember, or
disappear
violence or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. He just
this one was very innocuous. It was like the kids were cute,
and they filmed this on a soundstage,
right?
So I don't know, which you still could, but yeah,
I get what you mean. I'm sure there were some other things,
and plus there was less special effects. There was no violence happening.
Yeah, this was more of just like a storytelling. Yeah,
which is what he wanted to do.
I love the
wanted
line
something lighter
where Mr. Bloom had toward the beginning, and then it made sense at the end when someone's like, "Mr. Bloom, how many old folks' homes have you been in?" He's like, 6 or 8.
Yeah,
and I laughed. I was like, "That's a funny thing to say." And then at the end, you see him go to the next one, and I was like, "Oh no, he really has been." I thought he was just being sarcastic, like, I don't know, 6 or 8.
Something I loved that Steven Spielberg did in this episode was the close-up of the man's face, because they do that in the OG episode.
Cool.
And I like callbacks like that.
Me too.
I think that they're fun. So did you like this segment?
I like this one.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought that the older people that they cast were so good, and I appreciated
the kids too.
This is gonna sound silly, but I appreciated that it was like actually older people.
Oh yeah, me too.
And not just like let's put makeup on a bunch of actors. Like they were older people, and that made them so like endearing.
Yeah.
And then the same with the kids. Oh my God, the kids were so funny,
they
and they were saying like the old people things.
I know.
Oh my gosh,
the little girl who had the voice, and Murray.
Yeah, Murray. I loved her. And then I thought it was so cute when Mrs. Dempsey was like, "But wait. If I grow up again, my husband's already died. I won't get to meet my husband."
And you know, that really made me think.
Me too.
Because I think I started watching that being like, God, it would feel so good to run around and not have knee pain. And like, and we're not even that old yet, right?
No.
But then when she said that, I'm like, fuck yeah, you'd have to go through all the shitty stuff again too.
Yeah, because then someone says, I don't want to say goodbye to all the people who
Yes.
have died. And then someone else like, I don't want to go to school again.
Oh,
and
that.
I'm like, yes, on all of this.
Ooh.
I don't want to be a teenager again.
No, you could not pay me enough.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, we look at periods of our life. I think it's both things with perspective.
Yeah.
So we can appreciate youth more than we did when we were in the middle of it or whatever age, but also rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
We are only like the, oh, I could run around better. I could whatever. But it's like, but also I wouldn't have the spouse I have and my kids wouldn't be part of my life. And you know what I mean? Like, so it's, and maybe, and there's stuff that's happened that I wouldn't necessarily want to know about that's going to happen, you know? So I really liked the message of that one. And I also thought that the acting and stuff was really good.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed
really
this.
good.
And it did give Cocoon vibes.
Oh, it totally did.
Which was fun. Actually, did Steven Spielberg produce Cocoon?
He's definitely involved in
produced,
Cocoon.
But Ron Howard directed. I know that for sure.
He's definitely involved in that one.
Okay. So moving on. So we liked the lighter fare.
That one was good.
So then we move. I can't wait to hear what you think about the next one. I knew it. As soon as the fucking animatronic came out, I was like, Katie's going to hate this.
I am shaking my head in a no.
All right.
Audience.
So let's talk about this because I liked it. Okay. All right. The next segment is It's a Good Life. The summary is a boy whose wishes bring him everything except the happiness he desires. So this was directed by Joe Dante, who was the director of Gremlins in 84, The Burbs in 89, Gremlins 2 in 90. And do you remember the John Goodman movie Matinee in 1993? I think you would like that one.
Okay.
It's kind of it's like a cult classic movie, I think. We may have to watch it.
All right.
I
love John Goodman.
And he's directed lots of other things. I just threw the stuff in there that we might recognize. This is a fun fact about him. He has cast actor Dick Miller, who played the guy working behind the counter in the diner. The older guy.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He has cast him in every single movie he's directed.
That guy seemed super familiar to me.
He's been in a billion things.
Okay.
He's also directed William Shallert, who played the dad in Anthony's House in 5 films. So he likes to recast, which I like.
I think that's fun.
And apparently John Landis too, because he had Dan Aykroyd in 80 bajillion things.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, it's probably like anything. You become friends with some of these people too. So of course, I mean, Adam Sandler does that too.
Oh yeah.
All his friends are in his movies.
Listen, if I would cast you in movies all the time.
I would too.
Hello.
I'll cast you in like regular shows too, if you want.
Let's go.
And like you too,
Y'all
listeners.
heard it here first. Mark her words. She says she cast me in regular shows, period. Now she's like, shit, I said that out loud. Okay. So let's talk about, I'm not going to go into all the actors. Again, I told y'all, this is like so much information.
Yeah.
So the little boy that played Anthony, which by the way, this came to me as I was doing the research. I remember our friend and listener, Anthony, asked me a long time ago if I ever saw Twilight Zone, the movie. And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, because I looked like that little kid Anthony during that time.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And he had that haircut and everything because he's brunette. And oh my God, it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Anthony, send the picture to Katie.
Please send me the picture. Well, and I knew it wasn't him, but he did remind me of the little boy in E.T.
Yeah. Elliot.
And I mean, I know it's also just the way like the haircut and stuff of the time. But it took me a second. I was like, no, that's not him.
Right.
But they look similar to me.
Yeah. So the actor's name is Jeremy. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Licht.
Licht. Ooh.
See, that's why I didn't want to say it. I made her do it.
You tricked me. We're going to just call him Jeremy L.
I got her.
God.
Okay. Well, anyway, Jeremy L. He was in like a lot of made-for-TV movies and TV shows, but what a lot of 80s kids may know him from that watched a lot of TV, is the TV show Valerie, which became the Hogan Family.
Okay.
Yep. So, it originally was called Valerie until Valerie Harper left the show, and then Sandy Duncan came in to be the aunt.
Okay.
And there was like, and he starred alongside Jason Bateman. Because they were brothers. I think there were 3 or 4 brothers. Anyway, he played Mark. And I remember because I had a crush on Mark.
Oh.
He was the younger brother. Yes, I did. And I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot. And that show was on from 1986 to 1991.
Okay.
Right in my I'm watching TV all the time days. And it was, on whatever.
And he would have been like a preteen.
He was a teenager.
Yeah. So that would have been perfect time to have a crush on him.
Yeah. And I mean, yes. And he's still acting. He still does some things, but that's what most people from our Xennial time frame would recognize him from besides this movie. And then you have Kathleen Quinlan, who played Helen. Do you know what you know her from?
No.
Okay, you will when I say it. Fun fact, she got her acting break when George Lucas came to her high school to cast American Graffiti.
Oh, I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So
I remember
she only
now.
had one line in it, but still she was in it, and that was what got her in the door.
Going, yeah.
Things you know her from. She was in the movie The Doors with Val Kilmer in 1991. She was in Apollo 13 as Marilyn Lovell, which she got nominated for an Oscar for that role.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not like her acting in this segment. I thought she was so boring.
Oh, wow. Well,
I was like, where'd they find this lady?
Well,
apparently she's an
Academy
Oscar
Award nominated actress. Listen,
wow, okay.
You missed it.
Maybe I should watch it again.
That was in 95, Apollo 13, and she was in Event Horizon in 1997, and then she was in some other stuff too, but I just put in the things we would know. She actually starred in the TV series Family Law for 68 episodes.
Wow.
Starting in 1999. But listen to this. I love this so much. She put in her contract she could not work later than 6 p.m. because she wanted to be home with her family.
Good for her.
Bitch, you go.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, I'll do this show. I'm done by 6.
Yeah, put it in writing.
You want me? Let me. I'm Oscar nominated.
That's, hey, if I was Oscar nominated, I would also say that.
See?
I would.
I mean, y'all can do it now, but they might not care. They'd be like, okay, bye.
Yes, that.
See ya. All right, fun fact. Do you know the sister, Ethel, Nancy Cartwright?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what she's famous for?
That name sounds so familiar, but no.
She is the voice of Bart Simpson.
There you go.
And
I recognized the name and I didn't know where from.
The funny fact about that is, you know, when he gets mad at Ethel and he's like, that's it, you're going to live in cartoon land forever. And then she actually has been a cartoon voice for like 30 something years.
Right, because the Simpsons were on what, late 80s? Early 90s?
Late 80s, yeah.
So this was definitely before that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yes.
I love that. That's a fun fact. I already talked about the like couple of other guys, but here's some little Easter eggs.
Okay.
When Helen's in the diner in the beginning of this clip, and they ask her where she's from, she answers and she says 2 town names when she's looking at the map about where she's from and something else that had been used in Twilight Zone episodes from the old days.
Okay.
One was she said Homewood, which is from the episode Walking Distance in 1959. And then one was Willoughby from the episode called A Stop at Willoughby in 1960. And that episode's interesting because she's trying to get to Willoughby and you realize that she's dead at the end and she's trying to get to heaven. Anyway, it's crazy. So
whoa.
Old Twilight Zone episodes are the best.
Plot twist.
Anyway, and the cook actually refers to Cliffordville. That is also from a Twilight Zone episode called Of Late, I Think of Cliffordville in 1963. I've never seen that one. I know. Of late. Let's bring that back. Of late. I don't know how to use it though. How would you use that in a sentence?
Of late, I've been feeling very spooky.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well done.
Something
Gold
like
star
that.
today for Katie.
Took me a second, but I got it.
All right, here's some other fun facts. Anthony's powers, whenever he uses his powers, they use the sound effects from the arcade game Tempest, which is what he was playing in the beginning.
Oh, and that's a real game.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun little fact. Also, it's interesting that you mentioned Elliot from E.T. because the red and white bike that Anthony's riding when he gets hit by Helen is the same bike that Elliot rides in E.T. and he even has an E.T. sticker on the back.
The literal same bike or the same model?
Just
I was like, wow.
Just the same model. It's
okay.
It's a Kawara BMX.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know the one.
There you go.
Or the 2.
There you go. Now you know 2.
Movies.
And this is fun too. So you know the guy in the diner in the beginning that gets mad at the kid?
Yes.
For like playing? He actually played Anthony in the original It's a Good Life episode.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, his name is Bill Mummy.
Okay.
Mummy. Maybe it's Mummy. I don't know.
I hope it's Mummy.
I know, I do too. And he was 7 in the original episode.
Okay, that's cute.
Yeah.
I thought that storyline was weird, but I guess you like that, like the whole thing. But I guess you have to like get the kid to leave to go outside for then Helen to hit him with her car.
Yeah.
And then what I didn't understand,
well, and he's like kidnapping people. He's kidnapping
well, that's
people,
what I was going to
right.
say. Like, as the segment went on and you realized that, then I wondered if the guy in the arcade was part of the ruse.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No.
Because he would
He was
have
just
kidnapped
pissed off.
him
He's
too.
like, oh shit, that kid's here again.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. All right, let's talk about the episode because that's all the tidbits I have.
Okay.
You didn't like this one.
I did not.
Was it the animatronics?
Mostly.
What I like the psychotic bunny out of a hat?
I did not. I did not. I will say, I thought that the quote unquote family, right?
Yeah.
The people at the house were funny.
Yeah,
and
they
I
were
was
funny.
I was like, they're really silly.
They were creepy and funny.
So like as a group, they
Yeah.
were great. I didn't really like the Helen character. I just thought I don't know. She was just so stone-faced the whole time. Like I was like, hello? And even when she's like trying to leave because she knows something's wrong, she's not really like panicked or like she's just like, I guess I'm gonna go. I don't know. So I had trouble with that. And then, but maybe she was just supposed to contrast with them. I don't really understand. And then the bunny, the animatronic bunny was scary. And then the ending was weird when she's like, maybe I can be your teacher and student. And I was just like,
well, I think
they're just going to go off into the world.
Well, I think she was going to use him for her advantage is what I think she meant.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't love it. It didn't work for me.
I liked it because it was weird. And my favorite part about, like, of course, I've seen this movie, so I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew what was going on. But, you know, my husband and kid had never seen it.
Okay.
So as soon as, and it's so fun to see what people notice.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper is so observant. He picks up on shit so fast. And I'm like, how did you notice that? I think I watched this movie 4 times before I would notice this. When they pull up to the house, he's like, why is there so many abandoned cars? Did you notice that?
No.
There's like 8 of them.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Like, and maybe not. Maybe it's just however many people are in the house.
But still.
But I was like, oh. And I'm like, damn, he picked up. And then they go in. And of course, the whole time he's like, why are they so creepy? What's about to happen? Why are they so creepy? Like, and that's the best part of it is like, you're like, what is
what is actually happening?
Are they like cannibals? Are they like, what is happening?
And at first I thought he's part of their family and they rob people.
Right.
Because they were like going through a purse and they were like, whatever. Yeah. But again, that's what you're supposed to
think something is weird and you don't realize it's the kid who's bad
until
you're
later.
Supposed to think it's everyone else.
Right.
And it's his birthday. And then they're like, oh, it's your birthday again?
Yeah. And
they're like, I don't know. It's fun to watch it knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I just love, and you know what I thought was interesting about it too, is like, if you were a kid and you wanted, you could make anything happen, you would probably make weird shit like cartoon stuff and eat crap all the time.
Of course.
And
build a family. I mean, there's that.
And something that lives rent free in my head forever is the first time they show his other sister who has no mouth.
No, that was crazy.
Right?
That was crazy.
Right. And that fucking psychotic animatronic bunny scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Trey just goes, that's stupid.
It is. It's really stupid.
But you have to think that's a kid. Like, it's a kid making things.
I know.
So that's what it's supposed to be, like, from a kid's point of view, right?
I agree.
And, like, there's a TV in every room with cartoons on.
Yeah.
I would have done that as a kid.
And then, like, the dinner that they made
is, like, crap.
Is, like, junk.
Yeah.
But
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Oh, well.
That's okay.
And did you notice that the uncle's name was Walt? Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if it was like a throwback, like a throw to Walt Disney.
Maybe
his name was Uncle Walt.
Yeah, maybe.
Who was
Uncle
funny?
Walt? He was. They were funny. They were funny. The family was funny.
All right, so you didn't like that one.
No.
So far, you have liked the prologue.
Mm-hmm.
You're meh about Time Out.
Yeah, I feel some sort of way about that one.
And you like to kick the can.
I did.
Okay, we're not doing too bad.
We're not doing bad. We're doing good.
All right.
We're doing good.
Moving on to the final segment, to which I think John Lithgow deserves all the gold stars and bonuses.
Man,
his acting is so good.
He goes from like a little bit anxious at the beginning to full on spiral by the end.
It's so good. Like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, God, he's so good.
He's so good.
Okay. So here we go. Let's talk about this one. Nightmare at 20,000 feet. The summary is the unforeseen consequences of an airline passenger's fright during a flight, which crosses the uncharted boundaries of reality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one was directed by George Miller, who has directed Mad Max 1979, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome in 85, Witches of Eastwick. That'd be a good one to rewatch.
That'd be a good one.
87, Lorenzo's Oil 92, Babe, Pig in the City. Love the Babe movies.
Me
Let me
too.
just put it there.
They're
It was
so
the sequel.
good.
98, Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2.
Oh, that's cute.
2006, he won an Oscar for Happy Feet.
I love
Let's
it.
go. Okay. He's Australian.
Okay.
Which is fun. I love Australian accents. I will not do one because I cannot. Can you do one? We know you can't do British, but maybe Australian. G'day, mate.
There you go. You just did it.
That's all. That's all.
That's it. That's all we get.
He's also, this is mind blowing. He is a trained medical doctor.
What?
And he raised money to make Mad Max by working in an ER as an ER doctor.
By being a doctor.
What? Like, let me fund my Hollywood dreams by going to med school.
That's kind of amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood's expensive,
Girl.
so I guess go for one of the high-paying jobs, but it's also very expensive to get into medicine.
Right?
So it's almost like you fund the one thing that is then going to fund the next thing.
You
I
also
love it.
have to be fucking smart.
Well, that too. Yeah, it's not just money.
Come on.
And dedicated and all those hours you have to put in.
I was
Man,
like, talk about multi-talented.
that's amazing.
So what he's mostly well known for is Mad Max movies, which he's also done a more recent one. I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
Those are considered some of the greatest action films of all time. Fun fact, never seen them.
Me either.
Oop, look at us.
Never
Sorry,
ever.
George Miller.
We're
sorry. But we have seen Babe.
We've
La,
seen
la,
some
la.
of it.
That's my favorite part.
La la la. I love the Babe movies. We definitely have to watch those.
Oh my God, I love them. I remember watching that. So I have two kids. One is practical and one lives in the clouds with me. And Caden loved the talking dog movies, but any other animal, not having it. Babe, he was not a fan of the talking pig. But you know those, like, the Space Buddies and like all those
buddy movies with the golden
dogs.
retrievers.
He loved those. He was
Air
here-
Bud.
He loved all the talking dog movies, even though he doesn't like dogs. He was okay with them talking, but you put a mouth on a pig.
No.
He also used to get stressed out with VeggieTales.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Talking vegetables?
Yeah. No, it wasn't the talking vegetables. It was because they had no hands, but they would hold things, and it would stress him out.
I mean,
He'd be like, how are they holding a book? They don't have hands. How are they writing? Like, this is like 5 years old. He could not. I was like, it's a cartoon. He could not let it go.
he's like, no, these are not for me.
But you put a spacesuit on a dog, he's there.
And a dog telling you what he's doing in space.
Yeah. All right. So, where am I at?
I don't even know.
Okay. All right. We are talking about George Miller, director, doctor,
Dr. George
man
Miller.
of all things. He's actually part of a movement that I didn't know existed in Hollywood called the Australian New Wave.
Okay.
All right. By the press. This was a group of filmmakers and actors who emerged from Down Under at about the same time in the early 80s and then found work in other parts of the world, not just America. Mel Gibson is another one. And there
Okay.
were some others that I didn't recognize, so I just didn't put their names down. But anyway, all right, so let's talk about John Lithgow, who was the shining star in this clip.
Mm-hmm.
He played John Valentine. This is one of, like I said, the most famous OG Twilight Zone episodes. Fun fact, in the OG episode, it's a man in like a tattered up gorilla suit that is like not a tatted up. Tattered. Not a tatted up gorilla with some tats. I am like dying. I'm getting really
You're
hot.
going to take your cape off?
I can make it to the end.
Okay.
A man in a furry gorilla suit that is on the wing of the airplane.
I mean, that's funny too.
You know. I'm going to grab my water before I melt.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, and I said this earlier too, but like, yeah, I knew this story as it was happening, whether I've seen this clip or the OG Twilight Zone, or I just thought it was an urban legend.
Yeah.
Or this idea of like a person on the wing, you know, is like a thing,
Yeah.
or a being on the wing.
I'm going to let my pits out. Sorry.
Let's do it. Let them out.
Sweaty.
You
Oh, wait. We didn't talk about, we see Katie's arms today, everyone. Usually she's in long sleeves.
yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen your arms and hello muscles.
Yeah, see, look, I'm getting strong, guys. If you're watching,
listen, she's
that's
got
just
some
one.
cuts.
I got two.
And she's like, I didn't wear sleeves today. I said, because they won't fit. Welcome to the gun show. All right.
I'd be busting out of those sleeves.
She's busting out
with
her muscles. All right. So, John Lithgow, y'all know him from so much stuff. Again, if you're a Xennial, you know him from things. So let me just give you a few of his credits from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. The World According to Garp, 82. Terms of Endearment, 83. Footloose, 84. The Manhattan Project, 86. One of my favorite cult classics, Harry and the Hendersons, 87. Raising Cain, 92. The Pelican Brief, 93. And Third Rock from the Sun TV show, which he won an Emmy for. He was on that show from 96 to 2001. I didn't realize it was that long.
Neither did I, yeah.
And plus, we also know him as the voice of Lord Farquaad in Shrek.
Yes!
2001. Fun fact that I didn't know about Mr. John Lithgow, he has won 2 Tony Awards.
Okay.
In 1973, he won Best Supporting or Featured Actor Dramatic for David Story's The Changing Room. This is crazy. This was his Broadway debut. He started that show, and 18 days later, he won the Tony.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he starred in the show. That like his first time stepping into the role was some date,
whatever date that was
that year, and 18 days later, he got the Tony for it.
I mean, I guess it was just a shorter voting time then, because I would imagine nowadays the Tonys are decided probably a month out at least.
Ain't that crazy?
That's wild.
Crazy.
He really impressed them.
Serious. And then he won in 2002 as Best Actor in a Musical for Sweet Smell of Success.
Okay.
So you go, John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Also, he graduated from Harvard with honors. Okay. With a degree in history and literature, double major there. 1967 graduate.
So how'd he become an actor?
I don't know. Good question. But
I don't know.
I can't tell you everything about his life.
He out here winning Tonys.
I am just putting fun facts. That's all you need to know. I don't know his whole life. This isn't VH1 behind the music.
Oh no, I'm losing my hat.
Although,
okay. Just keep going.
Is it pop-up video? No, actually it is. This is more like pop-up video with random shit thrown here and there.
You are a meerkat.
Yes.
The pop-up.
Yeah, that's true.
We haven't talked about that for a while. Danny the meerkat.
It's true. It's true. This is hilarious. When he was in Footloose, he was only 12 years older than the actress playing his daughter. What?
I thought you what? I thought you were going to say he was 12 years old.
Maybe you should listen to my full sentence.
I'm going to stop. Go. Start over because I think I laughed over what you were saying. Okay. Go.
Okay. I can't work in these conditions. All right. He is only 12 years older than the actress Laurie Singer, who played his daughter in Footloose.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I kind of feel bad for him. Like they'd be like, you look old and you look young. So
right. Here you go.
Yeah. But teenagers in the 80s were like 30-year-olds in movies.
They
like,
really were.
Yeah,
they really were.
He actually said his most difficult performance was in this movie because he had to portray such extreme fear of the monster, although he couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that would be like you have nothing to play opposite of.
You're just pretending there's something out there.
And man, did he play it so good.
Man, he did so good.
All right, here's some fun tidbits about this segment. William Shatner, who played this role in the TV Twilight Zone episode. Okay. He was in consideration to reprise this, but he couldn't because of scheduling. But the fun little throwback that happened years and years later, William Shatner was a guest star on Third Rock from the Sun. And if you remember anything about that show, they were aliens who came down to Earth. And he guest starred as their alien boss, who was called the Big Giant Head. And when he first appears, John Lithgow's character, whose name was Solomon, asks him, "How was your trip?" And he says, "Oh, it was horrible flight. There was a man on the wing of the plane." And then John Lithgow goes, "The same thing happened to me." So I love that little throwback.
That is so cute.
Yeah, it's really fun. So good on you, Third Rock writers.
That's cool that William Shatner and John Lithgow have played the same role, essentially.
Yeah.
Like in different times that it was recorded. That's cool.
Yeah. Speaking of his acting, he's actually known for like his meticulous preparation for roles.
Hello, Harvard grad.
Yeah. And he actually had worked out certain scenes that took place in his airplane seat to line up with the manufactured lighting outside the window. But during filming, the crew member in charge of the lightning flashes would activate it too soon or too late. So it totally threw off his whole like scheduled like thing that he was going to do. So initially he was like kind of annoyed about it, but then later he said he valued it because he said it added to his like his anxious, fearful character because he was genuinely startled.
And he was anxious because it wasn't what he expected.
Right. So it like kind of wasn't really acting when it happened.
Oh, that's so great.
So remember how you said you saw Serling?
Yes.
Well, that was Rod Serling's wife, Carol, and she had a cameo in this segment. So when the flight attendants knock on the restroom door, a lady comes out holding a Twilight Zone magazine and says, "Is everything okay?" That's Rod Serling's wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. So
how cute is that?
I think that is all my notes.
That's it. Wow.
So did you like this segment?
I did.
Oh,
this one's really good. This one's really good. And I think what I like I liked a lot of it, but what I like the best of it is then at the end when everyone's like, wow, that guy was really like crazy or whatever. And then they all see not necessarily what he saw. And they're like, what happened up there? And so it does like just being in those people's shoes where you're like, wow, this guy's nuts. And then to be like, wait a minute, was he right the whole time?
Right.
Kind of thing. I thought was really, really good.
Smart writing.
And obviously John Lithgow was great. And then I did. So this is funny. You know how I said I watched on Prime and it has the different like cast members. And sometimes they just kind of like, you know, it says in this scene and it has like the people. So when Dan Aykroyd's name came up in the prologue, it said passenger/ambulance driver. And then the show was going on and I was like, there wasn't an ambulance in that scene. And then at the very end of this one, he's the ambulance driver. And I was like, oh.
A little callback.
Yeah,
there.
And he plays the tape from the beginning, the cassette tape.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I love Credence. And then, I thought that was a good bookend. I think if you watch the prologue on its own, I can totally understand what you're saying about how Twilight Zone purists were kind of like, that's not the vibe. But I think if you watch it in the course of the whole movie, it kind of is the vibe.
Okay.
Which is that, that like you don't really know who's driving your ambulance or riding in your car or who like. And so it's just this one guy who, you know, from the beginning turns into like a monster. And it's like it hints that it's going to happen again, which is very Twilight, where it just ends.
Yeah.
And then you have to ascertain what you think would be next.
Well, somebody asked John Lithgow one time, like, what do you think your character would have said? Like when he asked him and he's like, oh, well, my character would have just said no. And then Dan Aykroyd's character would have just been like, okay. And then drove him to the hospital. And I'm like, oh, that was a good Twilight Zone ending too.
So he doesn't turn into a monster in that version.
Because he says no. Because he says, do you want to see something scary? And he's like, well, his character would have obviously said no because he's terrified.
Yeah.
And then he would have been like, meh, and drove him away.
I love that.
I was like, oh, that's good.
That's really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so you liked, let's count the prologue as a segment.
Okay, so let's say there's 5 segments.
How many you liked? Prologue?
I'd say let's not count the first one. I liked Kick the Can. I didn't like whatever the Anthony one was.
So you like 3 out of 5?
I like 3 out of 5.
Okay,
3 out of 5.
Not bad.
Yeah. So is that does that mean I give it 3 stars? The movie?
It's your rating, not mine.
I'd probably give it 3.5. Because in general,
she is hard.
The ones that I enjoyed, I really enjoyed.
Man, she is rough.
I'm a rough one. But I did watch it all at once.
Okay, good. But you watched it alone.
I did have to watch it alone.
Were you scared?
I was a little scared.
Yeah,
I was scared. I was jump scared in the prologue. The one with like Nazi Germany and all that just made me super uneasy.
I know.
And then, as it's supposed to, and then the other one was cute. Yeah, I was a little scared. I was scared with the plane one because I think like you said, that's such an iconic episode of Twilight Zone. I think because it incorporates so many fears into one.
Oh,
flying.
Yeah.
Very common fear. Even people who aren't afraid of flying, like I'm not afraid. I still every now and then get afraid when I'm flying.
Yeah.
Like I feel the plane move weird or something. And you have that moment where you're like, boy, I am really screwed if something goes wrong.
Oh, yeah.
There's literally nothing I can do.
No.
And so I think like that fear coupled with like paranoia, like when people say to us, this is going to happen or that's going to happen, or like calm down. but like, do they really know? Or when we think we see something and people don't believe us. And then he's like alone flying and just all of it.
All of it. Yeah.
It's just like, it's so many fears into one. And then weather. Well, you're scared of weather. You all know. So there's the lightning and there's the storm and the dark. It's dark out there. Like, it's just everything mixed together that makes that one so, like, you're going to hit on somebody's fear in there.
Yeah. I also asked Troy, who is a pilot, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was. I said, there was so much lightning when I was like, can you fly with lightning? He's like, no, you cannot fly with that much lightning. No, you cannot.
Don't even try.
He was like, no. I was like, okay, but I'll tell you what is very anxious talking about him being a pilot. I don't like when I am flying with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like, oh, that was weird. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, if there's like a bump or something, or if there's a bad landing, he's like, and I'm like, don't tell me if some shit's going on. Like,
right.
I don't need to know that. You just act like everything is super normal and we're all right.
Agree.
Like, do not tell me. There was one time we had this really bad landing and I saw his face go like,
oh God,
something's up.
Oh
and
gosh.
I was like, thank God we're landing and not taking off.
Well, that's what they say to people who are like afraid of flying. Always look at the flight attendants. And if they're just going about their business and calm, everything's fine.
I don't get like super anxious flying. I get more nervous about driving long distances than I do flying. Because I've been in 2 super horrible car accidents.
And from a logical perspective, that makes more sense.
Statistically, yes.
Yeah, it does. Look at you. You're so logical with your fears.
No. Just that one.
Just that one.
Just that one. Look, my little thing.
Your cape
up.
Is your
my
cape
evil powers are not staying.
Your cape has given up.
She's tired. Well, okay, so Twilight Zone the movie.
What star rating would you give it? I gave it 3.5.
I'm gonna give it 4.5.
All right, but why not a 5?
Because of that one.
The
tragedies took half a star away. Not even. Ooh, that makes me sound like an asshole.
But they took it down from a perfect score.
Yes,
understandably.
And I think too, this I can remember being one of the first. Like, I think mostly for me, Twilight Zone holds a lot of like good memories on me watching TV shows and film early in like the science fiction horror genre.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, and I love Twilight Zone. Like, Tower of Terror is my favorite ride at Hollywood Studios because I love feeling like you're in a Twilight Zone episode. Yeah. I love it. And I like to be scared, but I don't like gory scare. And I like to be scared in smart ways. And I think that's why I love the Twilight Zone so much.
That makes sense. And that's why you like the Scary Stories books too, because they're the same way.
I forgot about something.
What?
And I'd never seen this episode, but Cooper had watched it without me because he looked up one time like iconic Twilight Zone episodes.
Okay.
And he just went through and watched them. And so this is my kid who, you guys, for some reason, he said, I would like to watch the original Planet of the Apes. And I was like, all right. Never I had seen it. I had seen the remake. And he goes, but I'm going to read the book first. So he goes to the library, puts it on hold, gets the book, reads the whole book. The DVD comes in because it's on hold at library. We watch the movie. And I was like, what 13-year-old? Like,
I love this. It's so great.
But it's, I don't know. I was like, where did you? Okay, first of all,
I love it.
How did you get the idea? And he's like, I don't know. I heard about it somewhere. So I thought I would like to. And it's good.
Is it good?
Oh gosh, I don't even want to tell you because
don't tell me.
That the ending is iconic, and I don't want to tell you, but I think you would like it.
Okay.
And it does have a lot of social commentary, even prevalent today. But anyway, so there was this episode of Twilight Zone. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about a ventriloquist. Did you notice the little girl on the plane has a dummy, a ventriloquist dummy?
Because I thought, what a weird toy for a kid.
It's a throwback to this episode.
Yeah.
Which is creepy AF because this guy believes that his dummy is talking to him.
Okay.
And he's like evil. Nobody believes him. Okay. And everybody thinks he's going crazy and hearing voices. And so he's like going to replace the dummy with a new one. Anyway, long story short, he ends up being right. And the very end of the episode, you see a new act taking place. And the dummy has become human. And the old ventriloquist artist has become the dummy.
Oh,
and they do a close up on his face. Oh, it's so creepy. But that's what that was a throwback to.
Okay. Because I was like, 83. I still don't think a child would have
Yeah.
a ventriloquist dummy on an airplane. I
Yeah.
know toys have changed, but
That's another iconic episode.
Okay.
Also, there's one. Okay, when you come off, plus when you come off the ride Tower of Terror, there are throwbacks to old Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah.
The dummy is there.
okay.
There's also a doll. There's I can't remember what she's called, but there's an episode about this little girl who gets a doll. She has a stepdad who's a horrible, mean guy.
Mhm.
And he thinks that the doll's out to get him and that the doll's really talking, and he tries to throw her away and she comes back. Anyway, he's like abusive and mean. She ends up pushing him down the stairs and he dies.
The doll does?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, not obviously she like trips him and he ends up dying.
Somehow, yeah, related to the doll.
Because he's terrible. And so
Wow.
anyway, she's there when you come off the ride. And there's another, Cooper told me there's another one because we try and keep our eyes out. There's one more. Oh, the glasses from the episode I told you about, the broken glasses.
Okay.
Yeah, they're there.
Wow.
So you know what I'm talking about when you come out and there's like a fake desk.
Yes.
Like
a front desk to the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look for it.
Okay, I will. And also like relatable, that man, like, well, I'm alone, I can read now. Like, literally, that is probably what would have to happen for me to have the time to do something
Just
like
don't
that.
break your glasses.
I know. Yikes. Okay. Wow. I feel like I've learned so much.
I told you this was a lot.
So much research.
Girl.
Oh, wow.
It was so much, y'all.
You did it. You did such a good job.
I made it.
You made it. Thank you for that. Thank you for all of this. And stick with us for more costumes, guys. Oh, and content. And
What
I
are
guess
we doing next time?
I don't remember. It's probably me though.
Haunted buildings from the 80s and 90s.
Okay. Is that what it is?
Katie's like, uh-oh. It was your idea.
I can't wait.
She's like,
I can't wait to do this idea that I've already got planned out, obviously. Don't worry, guys.
Or we can change it. Who knows? See what
I like
tune
haunted.
in.
I like haunted buildings.
Well, I guess so. You came up with the idea, so I put it on our thing.
Okay, guys, we will have an episode next time.
Who knows?
And make sure you're joining us for season 4 of Dawson's Creek.
Yes.
It's going to be good
Today's
going to be a good one.
Today's going to be a good one.
And we will see you next time here on Generation in Between, a Xennial podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.